look at me shine. I'm on the grind, handling mines, I get it for real. Taking my time, make up my mind, then I go get it. How does it feel? Came from the bottom, straight out the mud. Nigga, I came up from nothing. Niggas was hating, niggas was doubting. Now I'm just pushing they buttons. Look at me shine, I'm on the grind, handling mines, I get it for real. Taking my time, make up my mind, then I go get it. How does it feel? Came from the bottom, straight out the mud. Nigga, I came up from nothing. Niggas was hating, niggas was doubting. Now I'm just pushing they buttons. Been a hater since like forever, my nigga. What's all of the fuss for? You see me shining, I know that you watching. You stay on my page, so you must know. Someone told me my Durango was ugly, like why I got dents in the front though. But then a week later I saw the same nigga, but they was still waiting on the bus though. How ironic, I'm shining on them. Never stop, I keep grinding on them. My girl ex probably hate my guts, now her ring got blue and white diamonds on them. Hell yeah, niggas plotting on me, but my son spoiled rotten, homie. And that mean you come at me, you gon' need a freezer, not a doctor, homie. But back to the car, fuck it run. I just don't look at the mileage. I don't be talking, niggas be negative, I just be moving in silence. It's my time to shine, so I wanna talk about something that's other than violence. Like how about the fact I'm young and I'm black and I'm about to graduate college? Hell no, they don't like that. A young nigga on the right track, they just wanna see the gun on me. You could call that a ice pack. If you don't like it, just keep it moving. Now we could call that a life hack. I knew I was a diamond in the rough. Now you could catch me where the lights at, nigga, look at me shine. I'm on the grind, handling mines, I get it for real. Taking my time, make up my mind, then I go get it. How does it feel? Came from the bottom, straight out the mud. Nigga, I came up from nothing. Niggas was hating, niggas was doubting. Now I'm just pushing their buttons. Look at me shine, I'm on the grind, handling mines, I get it for real. Taking my time, make up my mind, then I go get it. How does it feel? Came from the bottom, straight out the mud. Nigga, I came up from nothing. Niggas was hating, niggas was doubting. Now I'm just pushing they buttons. I never run, I got a son, and I got one more on the way. I gotta make it, cause these little niggas gon' need me to show them the way. So every beat and at every show, I'm tryna blow them away. My pops wasn't shit, cause he chose to leave, but I'm never going away. Hey, we a family, that's team shit. Set it up so they don't need shit. I might never make the Forbes list, but I'm about to make the Dean's list. Drugs ruined everything around me, it's probably why I never dreamed shit. I guess a nigga grew up so-so. I think my mama was a seamstress. And back in the day, teachers would clown me, they used to tell me I'm hood. Now when somebody got something to tell me, I'm just gonna tell them I'm good. Cause niggas been hating, they see the movement, I always knew they was watching. I could go on a run or throw it away, but I always knew I had options. Stay independent, be a producer, or should I go for a deal? Whatever passage leads me to money, cause I'm kinda short of a meal. Wake up in the morning, look in the mirror like damn, do you know how this feels? I started with nothing, but look at me now, so tell them the glow up is real. Like look at me shine, I'm on the grind, handling mines, I get it for real. Taking my time, make up my mind, then I go get it. How does it feel? Came from the bottom, straight out the mud. Nigga, I came up from nothing. Niggas was hating, niggas was doubting. Now I'm just pushing their buttons. Look at me shine, I'm on the grind, handling mines, I get it for real. Taking my time, make up my mind, then I go get it. How does it feel? Came from the bottom, straight out the mud. Nigga, I came up from nothing. Niggas was hating, niggas was doubting. Now I'm just pushing their buttons.
Take a look at it.
See my lover friend on me. On the nights where your heart is lonely, so pick up the phone, call on me. Like you ain't got away on me. Said, baby girl, you should slide through. I wanna hit it from the back one time. I wanna hit it from the side view. Yeah. No face, no case, the vibe, girl, you know how I do. Cook a steak, roll up the gas, girl, and let's get high too. Girl, I really like you. Your vibes is so wonderful. Anytime I'm around you, I feel comfortable. So business-minded, international. Since we're best friends, love could be dangerous. So good, can't restrain from it. You're the one, you're my favorite. You're the love that I can't forget. Something so platonic, you erotic. To be honest, cause you modest. Yeah, you a boss bitch, you my best friend. You flawless, and I love friend and on me. On the nights where your heart is lonely.
Oh, wait a minute. I just noticed that my mic was muted. What up, everybody? Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me real good in the background? There we go. Big up to Jay, big up to Taz. We pre-gaming right now. Y'all come on in here and turn it up. Like the video, share it, let everybody know that we live. We're about to talk this fantasy football with my man Jay and Taz TV. This NFL, this sports, baseball postseason. But right now we vibing as we pre-game. Big up to my man in the background, 25 and up. We grooving to him. Come on.
Try me, my bitch gon' slide, and you know it's gon' be casket clause. She so sophisticated, I can't fuck with no ratchets, nah. Got a whole man at home, but for me she get active, yeah. I be like, go best, yeah. I said I love it when you hold me, and when we chillin', smoke a whole tree. Yeah, we layin' back, listen to oldies. Yeah, baby girl, put it on me. She my lover, friend and homie. Ain't no need to be alone tonight, girl, I know that you want me. Please pick up the phone, girl, and just call on me. I left the door unlocked, come in, girl, ain't gotta wait on me. You're my lover, friend and homie.
What up, y'all? What's good? Oh, hold on, let me find out. Taz cheating this shit, Jay. He got on the referee uniform and everything. I think he came to play today. What's good, fellas? What's good?
Hey, it's a lot to talk about for the NFL. We're going to jump into some fantasy, too. Got my man Taz at the bottom. Got my man KB to the left. Let's get it on. I'm going to start first. With Thursday Night Football. Can you believe it? Can you believe the fact that the Dolphins irresponsibly put Tua back out there after he had a concussion last Sunday? 4 days later, he's on the field, and what happens again? He gets concussed again, and that led to Cincinnati beating them 27-15. What you have to say about that, Taz?
I say it's unfortunate. First, I'm gonna say it's unfortunate because Miami was. I'm looking at Miami like. They beat two heavy hitters. I said, "Oh, this is a good team," and I felt like Tua answered people's questions. Where is he a starter? Is he a long-term starter, or is he a good quarterback for them? I think he answered the bell in these first 3 games. You know, it's sad to see it for real.
Well, Taz. I look at it differently. I don't think he really answered the bell, right? I look at it like. The Ravens collapsed in the fourth quarter, giving up 28 points. Tua was the same self, throwing 2 interceptions in the first half. And Baltimore was dominating them like they always do, right? And then in the second game against the Buffalo Bills, right? The Dolphins only ran like 39 plays. And the Bills ran 90-plus plays. And because Josh Allen fumbled that snap at the end of the first half, they didn't get that field goal. They lost by 2 points. So I think it was a mishap by Josh Allen, and they were fortunate in both of those games. Because what other team gives up 28 points in the fourth quarter, Taz? Because the Ravens were dominating them. Lamar Jackson was doing his thing, being his MVP self, and doing his thing for real. And they skated away. They skated away with those 2 victories because they easily could have been 1 and 2.
I mean, true, but this is football, baby. This is football. This all in the game, you know. What he showed me was, you know what? He know he got 2 monsters on that side. He got a tight end, and his backs was good. I mean, his backs is okay too. Now, when he played against the Ravens, I felt like I don't like y'all defense. I felt like he threw two of them away. He got 2 picks first half. However, he got it together, settled down, and then it was just. It's football, and it's still early. I know you probably you still a little tangy right now, but that was still a good team. And then he come right back to beat Buffalo.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, y'all, I ain't say y'all because me and you in the same squad.
Right,
However,
right. Fall right there because I'm not a Ravens fan. So we got to.
Right. This is the same side. However, I got the Bills beating the Ravens this weekend, right?
I do as well. We can ready jump into that too, Taz. We can ready jump into the games in a second. We can ready jump into the same
I ain't gonna go there. No, I ain't gonna go there. I'm just saying, like, Miami, I knew they was gonna be okay. I ain't think they was gonna be what they doing now. However, their defense was always that. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
So it's just sad to see him go down, man.
I agree. I think it's just irresponsible doctors, coaches, and everybody like that. The guy could barely get up and walk in that game against the Ravens. Then 4 days later, well, I guess the Bills. 4 days later, he comes back and gets concussed again. Then on top of that, they take him to the hospital and he flies back on the plane with the team. If you concuss and that pressure is getting to your head when you're on a plane, the pressure is so immense. Why would you have him back on that plane? It's just the Dolphins being irresponsible. It goes back to the Flory situation, and you start to look at this franchise as a dysfunctional franchise that can't get it right, and it continues.
Yeah. They dropped the ball. I can't. You got me on that. You right. They dropped the ball. Even though, did you see?
Hey, pause real quick.
Yeah. You said pause or keep going?
He said pause. KB, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we was about to get started, Taz. We was about to get into it.
Yeah, we was. Yeah, we was. Don't worry about it. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, we got rhythm anyway. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
I like you more of a host than I am. When the host thing come, I get disbobulated. I don't stay on key. You know what I'm saying? So I feel good. I like this right here.
Yeah, no doubt. So KB stepped off. So let's get into the games, man. Let's start with this first game. The first game on Sunday, early in the morning. They playing over the pond, right? We got the Vikings against the Saints. I'm gonna let you chime in first, and then I'm gonna chime in second. Give me your take on that game, Taz.
You said the Vikings and who else again?
The Vikings and the Saints.
I'm going with the Vikings. Reason why, and for real, it feels like that's a toss-up game, but it's a conference game. They always gonna battle. They battle tough, but I don't see New Orleans doing what we did to Minnesota passing game.
I feel you on that. And I look at it this way. I'm looking at the injury report. They're saying Jameson might not play. So, not to be critical of the guy, but he's thrown 5 interceptions in the last 2 games, right? Mm-hmm. So Andy Dalton is the backup. So Andy Dalton's going to play, but Michael Thomas is out again. Hurt his toe, so he's not going to play. So now you're going to have Andy Dalton, they used to call him the rifleman, but I think he's scared to be a rifleman going forward. So we'll see. He won't turn the ball over, so I think the Saints defense will keep him in the game. It's all about whether Alvin Kamara could step up, because he's been a no-show the whole season. And if they can kind of handle the clock and keep Kirk Cousins off the field. But we all know Kirk Cousins for who he is. He shrinks under the lights like he did against the Eagles on that Monday Night Football game. But everybody should have known he was going to shrink then, because I believe he's 1-9 on Monday night. So when I was looking at the game, I was nervous a little bit, but once I looked at that he was 1-9, I knew it was going to be a no-brainer. But getting back to this game, I see that Justin Jefferson has been slow in the last 2 games. I think they're going to make a considerate effort to try to get him the ball, and I think that might hurt them in the long run because I think, the Saints corner he always locks him down. The number 1 corner, he locks him down like he did Mike Evans. That's when Mike Evans got mad in that game. So I think he'll.
Hold on.
I think he'll lock him down, and I think no. I'm saying that Minnesota might win, but I think the Saints defense is going to keep it close. And if Andy Dalton can deliver the ball to the guys, the weapons on the team, and Kamara can step up, it's a toss-up, like you said. But go ahead.
Now, you gave me the information. I'm going with Minnesota. I'm taking Minnesota. Andy Dalton starting. I'm definitely taking Minnesota. Now, let me ask you this question real quick. Who you like better, Justin? Who the better wide receiver, Justin Jefferson or Mike? Who you think the best?
Justin Jefferson all day.
Yeah. So I feel like yeah, that's a different wide receiver that he gonna guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he ain't no slouch. He not. But I just don't see Justin getting shut down 2 weekends in a row. I just don't.
Yeah, but see, he got shut down by Slay, right? And then he got shut down by the dude in Detroit the next week. So, and that's 2 weeks in a row. And we're gonna jump into fantasy after we go through these games. But fantasy-wise, if you drafted him 7 through 10, you disappointed because he had that great game against Green Bay the first week, balled out, was nobody around him. But the last 2 weeks, he's giving you 4 points, 6 points. So from a fantasy standpoint, and we can include real football because I think he's a great receiver. But from a fantasy standpoint, if you spent a first round draft pick on him, you're disappointed. You're disappointed through 3 weeks. Right. And it's no question that Jefferson is better than Mike Evans. That's no comparison. But I think, like you said at the beginning, it's a toss-up game. It's hard for me to pick, but I'm going to lean towards the Saints just on the strength of Kirk Cousins.
Okay. You don't like Kirk?
Captain Kirk ain't Captain Kirk, man. No.
Yeah. I like him better than Andy, though. I do. I like him better than
if you look at that stats, if you put Andy when he was at Cincinnati and you put Kirk when he was with the Washington Commanders, where they was Redskins back then, who numbers were better?
You're correct. However, even that same point right there that's why I'm not dealing with Andy, because he had teams over there in Cincinnati, man, and he choked so much. Like,
you think it was all Andy? You think it was all Andy? You think it was a combination of things? They was undisciplined. They was undisciplined on defensive side of the ball. Whole bunch of late hits and penalties and unsportsmanlike conducts. I can't blame him totally. No. As the reason why they lost. But
No, I ain't gonna do that. But I'm gonna give him a lot of blame because he's the quarterback and he get paid the bucks. Yeah, I'm gonna give him that.
Okay, so that's one for the Vikings and one for the Saints. Let's jump into the next game.
Let's go.
We got the LA Chargers against the Houston Texans. This is a tricky contest because last week, the week before, Justin Herbert has injury to his ribs. He played last week when I think he shouldn't have played. They got blown out by Jacksonville, 38-10. Now he's not going to have Keenan Allen, who's out again. He's been out since week 1. He lost his left tackle, Slater. They lost Bosa, who's on the IR. So it's a tricky situation. But they're playing the Houston Texans, so I'm going with the Chargers.
And I'm taking the Texans. I'm taking the Texans.
Wow.
Now I was high on the Chargers, right, coming into the season, right? I was. You know what I'm saying? Khalil Mack over there, I was high. They had a good defense last year. I'm like, all right, Justin going to take another step. Man, even before Justin got hurt, man, they were disappointed. Now, I know I'm jumping out the window with this Houston Texans. But they have been playing hard. The Houston Texans. No, I scratched that. I'm going to Chargers.
You couldn't be out on that branch by yourself. I get it. But realistically, everything you said, they couldn't stop the run last year. That's why they struggled. They showed up the run game, but now they got injuries. It seems like they the same. It seems like the same injuries they're having is what the Ravens had last year. All those injuries, promise, all these things. But the key element to the Chargers is, I think, it's the coach. The coach is the problem. And here go a hot take for you, Taz.
Mhm.
Sean Payton will be the LA Chargers coach next year. Hot take.
Ooh. I'm saying Dallas Cowboys. I got Sean in Dallas next year.
But I'm gonna give you the reason why.
Yeah.
Not Dallas. Jerry Jones is still there. Sean Payton is used to being in control. He can't have Jerry Jones going on a talk show talking about what he did wrong or what he did right. No. When he was with the Saints, he was in total control. Personnel, he didn't have an owner talking over top of his shoulders. All these Cowboys fans and people are saying Dallas. It's no way in the world he's going to go there. But see,
If that bag big enough, he going.
but see, prime time Taz is this. You got the LA Rams in with Sean McVay in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton said he wanted a good quarterback in good weather. LA Chargers, I'm telling you. Because now, last year, out of all the top quarterbacks, Justin Herbert was the only quarterback that didn't go. Coaching. Coaching.
Wow.
Coaching, I'm telling you. Coaching. And he's going to be out of there. Watch. And you're going to remember this day, September the 30th, and I told Taz, hot take, Sean Payton, LA Chargers coach. Watch.
I'm trying to digest it right now. I'm trying to digest what you're saying. I hear you though. I never even thought of that. But I hear you though. I can respect that.
Okay. So we got one Vikings, one Saints, two Chargers. Even though Taz tried to jump out of the window and see the Texans, he came back in the car, got himself together, and he chose the Chargers.
Yes,
so now let's jump into the next game. We got Chicago Bears with Justin Fields going against the Giants with Daniel Jones. This is one of those games where you don't get your popcorn ready, you don't get your hot chocolate ready. You put your blindfold on, you take a nap, and you wake up and you figure out, oh, it's the third quarter. What's going on? That's just my opinion. But let's get into predictions. Let's get into the predictions.
I'm going with Chicago. I'm going with Chicago. Even though Justin Fields right now, he ain't. I'm expecting more out of him right now, right? And I understand he's young. He's still young. He still got time, and they winning. You know what I'm saying? Chicago got a defense, so I'm gonna take Chicago on this.
Well, I'm gonna give you some logic on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Chicago Bears did nothing for Justin Fields in the offseason, did nothing for him in the draft. If you look at Jacksonville, what they did with Trevor Lawrence, they spent all this money in free agency to get him receivers, tight end, defense, and everything like that. They invested in him. They had no investment in Justin Fields, right? Justin Fields.
Other they got a lineman. Other they got a tackle though.
But they didn't get no offensive weapons. That's what you need for a young quarterback. You need offensive weapons so that way he can feel comfortable. He's being pressured. The offensive line is not great. And they're like last in passing. You know, David Montgomery is out. I think the guy Herbert stepped up for them at the running back position. But I think the Giants coming off that loss to Dallas when they shouldn't have lost that game, I think the Giants will prevail. And I feel you in the Justin Fields thing. I don't expect Justin Fields to do so much because he doesn't have the weapons, and his coaches are failing him. And I'm really hoping that his spirit doesn't get broken by being sacked so much because they're not doing anything to help him out.
Yeah, that's on the organization, you know. I mean, the Bears is the Bears. The Bears is the Bears. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like the Bears. I respect them because of their history, but I don't like them. But I'm going with them. I'm going with them on Sunday.
So one for the Bears, one for the Giants. Okay, the next game. We got Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith starting, and we got the Detroit upstart Lions, who's averaging 30 points a game. So, with this one, Detroit is shown that they can put up points. They'll be without DeAndre Swift because he's out, but Jamal Williams has stepped in, and they also will be with Amon Brown. So now, who's going to step up for Detroit? This is one of those games where it's in Detroit, it's a dome, so weather plays no factor. Jared Goff is, I don't know what he is, but
I like Jared. I like Jared.
For me, I'm going to go with Seattle. I think they're at home. The crowd will rattle him. I think him missing those two big weapons, DeAndre Swift, who's a stud, and you're missing Almighty St. Brown, who's been one of the best receivers as far as in the NFL this year. Right. I think without those two weapons, he's going to have to rely on T.J. Hockenson. He's going to have to rely on DJ Shark. He's going to have to rely on other weapons who he hasn't built that. He hasn't built that safety net with them. So we'll see what happens. So from my standpoint, I hopefully Geno Smith can step up, DK Metcalf, and the defense step up. I don't trust Geno, but I'm going with Seattle.
And I'm taking Seattle too.
Okay.
And
okay.
I feel like they ain't gonna have Geno throwing too much, and their defense gonna come to play. You know what I'm saying? Just like to piggyback off of what you said, Jared Goff don't have nobody to throw to, so that's gonna be easy. Pete Carroll gonna tell them boys, pit it back, go get him. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Turnovers. So
indeed.
I agree with you. I agree with you on
okay.
On this.
Let's get into the next one.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Cleveland Browns going against the Falcons. Now, before we even pick Taz, let me say this. Cleveland is one or two plays from being 3-0. And coming into the season, who would have ever thunk that they could have been 3-0? So they're 2-1. Brissett is playing pretty good ball. You got Amari Cooper, who had two 100-yard games the last two games. That's the first time a Cleveland Browns receiver had two consecutive 100 games. You got Nick Eat-em-up Chubb in the backfield that's been killing. You got Hunt. But on the other side, you got the Falcons. Mariota has had a resurgence. You got Drake London, who I didn't think was going to be good, because those USC receivers are never good. He's been stepping up and he looks good. They got Pitts. They got a receiver or return man in the backfield that's been killing, So I think Atlanta's averaging about 24 points a game. But I think, hopefully Jacoby Brissett, that running game would keep Mariota off the field. And I think Cleveland, if they can step him on the defensive side of the ball, because we don't know about Myles Garrett, who was in a car accident trying to avoid hitting the animal in his Porsche. They saying he had some minor injuries, so he's questionable to play. But I think if he plays, they bring the heat to Mariota, and that running game and Brissett making enough plays get them to 3-1.
And again, we agree on the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland line, offensive line and defensive line is going to be too much for Mariota. You know what I'm saying? For the Falcons. Now, the tight end Pitts, what's his name? Kyle Pitts, that's from Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting to feel he went too high, and I understand that he ain't really had nobody to give him the ball. I just think they could have did something else with the pick, even though it's over. He got it last year. I just think the Falcons. I don't have no faith in them guys no more. I don't.
Yeah, I don't. I agree with you, Taz, because picking the tight end that high is just kind of out of the ordinary. But they did strike gold with the guy Terrell at the cornerback position out of Georgia. True. He struggled his first year, but he's an all-pro now. So it's amazing. It's amazing how he's turned into a top corner, because there was questions about him because he got torched in that Clemson game, in that championship game he got torched. So they didn't know how he would respond to that. But that's a good take though. You laid out the fact that you don't trust the Falcons. I mean, I think they're going in the right direction though, Taz. I think after the Matt Ryan situation where they choked in the Super Bowl when they was down up 28-3, and they never recovered from that. You know, they never can recover from that, because when you get an opportunity to win that chip, you got to take it. You know, the Eagles played against the Patriots, and they kept their foot on the gas and won that chip. That's what you got to do. You know, Atlanta relaxed, and when you relax, they jumped on it. And you can't come by that. It's like, you know, it's like a nightmare. Like, you know, it's like a nightmare when Jason comes and gets you when you were younger and you went to the movies, you saw scary movies, Jason come get you and you go to sleep and you be scared out of your mind. That's exactly how that was, you know? At the end of the day, you got to take the gauntlet and run with it when you got that kind of lead. And they chose it, and they didn't do it. And it's just like the Baltimore Orioles when they were 2 outs from going to the World Series. And look at the Orioles. It took them 5 years, but they back up to the point. They back up, but they didn't take advantage of the moment. And that's what you got to do when you got the chance.
Man, so I don't even want to talk about the Orioles right now because they had me pumped up, and I don't know what's going on. But hopefully they get themselves together. But yeah, but go ahead,
Taz, they're a year ahead. Nobody expected them to be this good. So they're a year ahead. So you can't be greedy sometimes, Taz, because they're a year ahead of the schedule. If they don't show up better next year, then definitely throw your popcorn at them, throw your bottles at them because they're not picking up. But right now, I think they're a year ahead.
I got you. I'm gonna listen to you. Because I don't have the baseball thing. But however, I was looking at their game. You know what I'm saying? They had me. They and I'm still intrigued. I ain't going nowhere. I like looking at them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I'm a fair weather baseball fan. Like I like to watch them only in the playoffs, and I like New York. I used to like. You know what I'm saying? I like the. Yeah, when it's real cold out there, you can see they
October baseball, baby. October baseball. You know, real stars show up in October, and that's what we about to have. October 1st is tomorrow, so we ready to get this pennant race going. We got all these excellent stories in line. You got Aaron Judge that supposedly, you know, has the record now because he tried Mars and he hit the 61 home runs because they want to discount Barry Bonds, but we're gonna leave that one alone. So, you know, and the Yankees haven't won nothing in a long time. They talk about the Houston Astros because they say they cheated, but if I cheated, how can I still be at the top? That's another story as well. Let's get back into football, Taz. So
all right, go ahead, let's go.
So now we got the Tennessee Titans against the Indianapolis Colts. Let me talk about it real quick though, right? Indianapolis Colts stole one from the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs thought that they could just roll the ball out and play football. But the Colts, who had struggled the first 2 weeks, came in there and kind of punched Kansas City in the mouth and took that game. Tennessee, though, you know, it's hard to really depict who they are. You know, they got their doors blown off by Buffalo.
Right.
And Derrick Henry doesn't look like himself. You got Tannehill throwing interceptions. You got the defense not stepping up. So right now, just because the Indianapolis Colts are home, I think they're getting a little bit healthier. I think Darius Leonard's coming back. They haven't had him for the first 3 weeks. I think Darius Leonard coming back going to help out with that defense, kind of plug that hole up to stop Henry, and hopefully Matt Ryan. The Colts, I don't know what they're doing, man. They went from Phillip Rivers to Carson Mistake Wentz to over the hill Matt Ryan. I have no idea what they're doing. But needless to say, they're home. They're 1-1-1. So really, they have an advantage of a lot of teams that are 1-2 because they're 1-1-1 because they had a tie. So really, they haven't only really lost one game. So I'm going to rely on Matt, who lost the Super Bowl for no reason, Ryan, and Darius Leonard coming back to upstart that defense and their offensive line playing a little bit better.
I'm taking the Colts in a blowout.
Wow. Speak to me on that.
Yep.
Speak to me on that.
I'm gonna take them in a blowout. Just like you said, it's still early. You know what I'm saying? Matty Ice, he should be even more familiar. The running game, it ain't really get started yet, but it's coming. And they still got them dangerous wide receiver. What's his name? Hilton?
Michael Pittman.
And who else they got at the slot?
Well, that's the problem right now. They drafted the dude Alex Pierce from Cincinnati, and they trying to find that second guy. Because I know you're talking about the guy they had last year, number 13, but
Yeah.
he's not there anymore. And that was really the one they got. So right now they're trying to find that second option behind Michael Pittman. So right now I think it's going to be Alec Pierce out of Cincinnati, but they're searching for that. So really, if you take Michael Pittman away, then all you have is Jonathan Taylor and Matt Ryan trying to make plays. So, but on the other side, if you take Derrick Henry away, who do you have? You have Robert Woods coming off his ACL, and you got Treylon Burks, who's a rookie, who's trying to find his way. So it's kind of topsy-turvy. It's hard to say exactly who's going to do what, but I'm just going to rely on the home field advantage and go Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'm going with the Colts also.
Cool. So we get down to the nitty-gritty. So we got the Commanders with Carson Mistake Wentz against the Dallas overhyped Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into this. Jerry Jones, crazy self, and this is one of the reasons why I clearly say Sean Payton won't go there. Jerry Jones come on the radio and says Cooper Rush is playing good. Dak should look at how Cooper Rush is running the offense. I'm hoping for quarterback controversy. Now you tell me, Sean Payton gonna deal with some nonsense like that, man? Come on, Tess.
I mean,
talk to me. You think Sean Payton is going to deal with that nonsense?
I ain't seen nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Because unconsciously, you kind of do want. I mean, your quarterback, both of them successful. If you could get that, he was. I think, and I ain't a Jerry Jones guy. I ain't a Cowboys guy, but I think I can see what point where he was trying to make. I see where he was going with it.
Let me ask you, what other owner does that?
What other owner? I know. Answer a question with a question, right? Hell no other owners do that, right?
So,
however,
go ahead.
Ain't nobody like Jerry Jones. Ain't nobody like Jerry.
And that's why they won't win, because ain't nobody like Jerry Jones. Yeah. Because they haven't won nothing in centuries, man. And every year they the high pick. Now Dak is trying to force his way back to fail. You know, they all happy because they got Parsons and Diggs and all this, blah, 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 blah. You know, I was so hoping that the Giants beat them. But now we got Mistake, Carson Wentz. And Dallas is home. I don't want to pick Dallas. I don't. But my senses and my common sense is telling me that Carson is going to make a mistake. I think the Commanders will be in the game, but Carson going to make that costly mistake that would allow the Cowboys to win. And now the Cowboys are 2-1, man. I thought they would be 1-2 or something like that, falling behind. But it don't matter. It don't matter because they play a tough team next week. So go ahead and let them get to 3-1, and then let the ceiling fall on them after this game. So I'm going with the Cowboys. Unwillingly going with the Cowboys. I hate saying the Cowboys. I'm going to Cowgirls. How about that?
Yeah, the Cowgirls. That sounds better. That sounds better. I'm going with those Commanders. I'm going with those Commanders.
I like it. I like it, Taz. I like it.
At the end of the day, they have a running back. They got a few receivers. If Carson, and I'm a Carson fan. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a Carson fan. I'm still stuck
I'm not.
The beginning of the season and all that. I'm still stuck there. So I know he could get them the ball, man. I know he could get them the ball. And this is a division game. You know how they hate each other. It may not as bad as the Cowboys and the Eagles, but yeah, the Redskins and the Cowboys, that's gonna be a game. That's gonna be a game. I'm taking the Reds. I mean the Commanders.
So we going one Commanders, one Commanders, one Cowgirls. That's fine. So now you already talked about this, but we want to get into it. We got the Buffalo Bills coming off of a 90-play offensive performance against the Dolphins, going against the Lamar Jackson Ravens, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Josh Allen and the Bills. I think the Ravens are in a situation where their secondary is hurt, and I don't think they'll be able to get enough pressure on on Josh Allen. I think Diggs is going to have a big game. I think Davis is finally going to show up and have a good game. And I think he's just going to light it up. I know Lamar Jackson is action Jackson. And I understand that Dobbs is coming back. He's been a little shaky. But I don't think they'll be able to keep up point-wise with them. And I think Buffalo is on a mission this year. You know, everybody picked them at the beginning of the season as the Super Bowl popular pick. I still think they have issues with running the ball, and that's going to come back to haunt them. Because there's no way Josh Allen should throw 63 times in the last game. So I think that's going to come back to haunt them. But I'm going with the Bills. I have respect for the Ravens because I think it's a great organization. I think Lamar Jackson is the truth. But I think that his style of play will eventually get him seriously hurt. I'm hoping that he gets an opportunity to get endorsements because he was the MVP. And I'm hoping that he gets all this money that he's going to make off the field because they're unwilling to give him the contract on the field. So I think he needs to be smart and think about his future and his family and get that easy money off the field while he can.
Now, I know Lamar. I know Lamar probably took out some insurance on him since he ain't signed. At least $100 million insurance policy. However, I just feel like Buffalo. I feel like they kind of had the Ravens number. And what I mean by that, I ain't worried about Lamar Jackson. I feel as though Lamar Jackson, the number one quarterback in the NFL this year so far, right? Question how they playing them. They started this last year. Miami continue. You know what I'm saying? They rush, but they don't commit all the way in. You know, we gonna see what Berman, that the wide receiver. We know Andrews won't bring it, but they gotta get it to him. Buffalo got a good defense. You know, at the beginning of the season, I called Buffalo coming out the AFC. So I know their defense gonna come. And then they got the best trio, the best quarterback, wide receiver. I'm talking about they dominates the game.
Yeah.
The problem is with the Ravens, they secondary stink. They secondary stink when they healthy. Like everybody thought like, man, they can be good, they can be coming. No, they been there. It's just that they can tackle. Peterson, hey Humphrey, they can tackle.
Yeah.
But they can't cover, man. They can't cover. And I believe going forward, that's going to really smack the Ravens in their tail. It's not going to be Lamar. It's going to be them.
And I also Taz, Buffalo safeties are hurt. And they don't have Tre'Davious White, that top corner yet. So I think, you know, with their safeties being hurt, it'll give Lamar other opportunities. But Bateman, Bateman gets about 3 or 4 targets a game, so that's not going to hurt them. And we got the Devin Oliver, I pronounced his name wrong, but he doesn't get that many targets a game. All the targets go to Andrews, like you said. And you can't beat a team just going to your tight end. It's not going to happen, not in today's football. So I'm going with Buffalo. I know KB. I know KB's going to chime, man, but I don't care, KB. I'm going Buffalo.
How dare y'all be disrespectful? You talking about Lamar, the best quarterback in the league? Questionable.
I never said that.
I know. You said questionably or whatever you said, whatever that slight word was or something like that. It ain't a quarterback out there doing what he's doing right now. He's the best player in the league right now. And Buffalo gonna have problems. He a problem when he out there on the field, period. And
I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's dynamic.
If JPP, what do you think? What do you think the input of JPP gonna be playing this week?
I think it'll be some input, right? But
that's where I see our pass rush coming from.
Yeah, let's get back to your question. You say he's playing the best football in the league. Nobody's doing what he's doing. That's what you said. So that's what you said. Yeah, I got a player that's doing what he's doing out there. We supposed to be 3-0. I got a player that's doing what he's doing. I got a player that's doing what he's doing.
Who?
Jalen Hurts. The 3-0 Eagles. Jalen Hurts is balling. He's balling. Everybody said that he couldn't throw the ball. He did through 2 games over 300 yards. He's running the ball. He's controlling the offense. Only has one interception, and that was because the running back didn't catch the ball. Yo, if you look at Jalen Hurts from last year to this year, where everybody was saying the Eagles was a quarterback away, he shut everybody up. They went and got him A.J. Brown. Look at his numbers, man. They 3-0. They got Jacksonville coming up this week. He went into Monday night. On Monday night, he destroyed Minnesota. He destroyed Detroit. And he destroyed the Commanders. So I'm not saying Lamar is not the ultimate weapon, but people not really understanding.
That's the Commanders.
Jalen Hurts is as well.
That's the Commanders. Ain't nobody thinking about no. That's the Commanders. Ain't nobody thinking about no Commanders.
So who has
ain't nobody thinking about
Ravens beat? KB. Who has the Ravens beat this year? Talk to me.
I don't know who we played. Who we played so far? I know we lost to Miami. We lost to Miami. Who we played last week? Last week we. Yeah, that's dumbass. That's dumbass coaching, yo. That's dumb coaching. You up 28 in the fourth quarter. You up 28 in the fourth quarter, and you motherfucking let them score 28 points in the fourth quarter, yo. I blame the defense and I blame the offense. I blame the offense for not controlling the fucking clock. I blame them for not running the clock out. You know what I mean? That, like, straight up. And I blame the defense for going in that damn cover zero, whatever the hell they was in. You know what I mean? And letting them guys get behind them both times. You know, that was like dumbass shit. It was dumb shit. They clearly offensively, and you know I hate the coaches. I hate our coaching staff. But as far as offensively,
let me ask you this question real quick, man. KB, let me ask you this question real quick for the Joker. Hey, KB, let me ask this question for the Joker. Hey, the Joker, as far as running back, start Jamal Williams because DeAndre Swift is out. So start Jamal Williams. As far as flex, I would say either Jeff Wilson or Ramon Stevenson, because Ramon Stevenson is going to get a lot of burn because Mac Jones is out. So definitely slide Jamal Williams into your starting lineup at running back because DeAndre Swift is out and he'll get all the carries. And it's a toss-up between Jeff Wilson and Ramon Stevenson for your slot, for your flex position. Hopefully that'll help you out, Joker. Go ahead, KB.
I got one more for you so you can get that one out the way too.
Okay.
He said he's trying to package London and Gibson.
Or running back. Oh, okay. London and Gibson. Well, this is kind of tough though because running back is kind of short this year. So I don't think anybody has any faith in Gibson. So London is a rookie, and rookies hit the wall sometimes because they only play a certain amount of games in college. As far as what you think you could get for that, maybe let me think. London and Gibson. You could try to snatch maybe an Aaron Jones, possibly. I don't know if they'll bite on that. You know, Kamara's not playing too good. Maybe you could slide that over to somebody who has Alvin Kamara and Mike can get Alvin Kamara, but you're not sure exactly what he's going to do. So from that standpoint, I'm looking at you're not going to get one of the top guys. So you got to get a lower tier guy, maybe a Connor or something like that somebody's going to bite on that. So go ahead, KB.
All right. So basically, I was said offensively with the Ravens, right? And I hate our coaches. Well, I don't hate, but I dislike our coaching staff, right? And but Lamar doing what he's doing. Of course, he's talented, and this is my take on it. Of course, he's talented, and he's Lamar, but the play calling offensively is improved dramatically. I'm seeing things and we doing things out there just in the play calling alone. And I think that's going to be a difference. Like for what I'm seeing, it ain't a team out there that can stop us on the defensive side of the ball. I don't see Buffalo defense shutting us down, stopping us from putting up 21, 28 points. Whether or not we stop them and hold them, yeah, but this is my take on the Ravens. We'll come out with the game plan to shut them down, and we'll shut them down. As soon as they go in at halftime and they adjust, they come out and we don't adjust, and they end up fucking us up. And that's been my take for them on both sides of the ball. We don't adjust well under this coaching, under this regime. So
Yeah, I
Hobbs
mean,
and all of them can go for me.
yeah, I mean, I feel you 100% right. You know, I don't see Buffalo shutting y'all down. I never said that at all. So I don't see that. You guys are averaging about 24 points a game, right? And you guys' competition hasn't been that great, right? You know, besides the Dolphins, you guys have had like a easy schedule so far, right? But Lamar's the ultimate weapon. And he's throwing the ball to Bateman as the receivers, Duvernay, and he's throwing the ball to the receivers. So I give him kudos for that because he's worked on it. He's got stronger, put some weight on, and he's got stronger. But the key element is the Ravens can't stop the Buffalo Bills either. So it's going to be one of those, who makes the first mistake? You know, the Buffalo's Achilles heel is they can't run the ball. So that's why Josh Allen threw the ball 63 times against the Dolphins. And I think he's going to come out in shotgun and throw the ball again. And he comes out in shotgun and throwing the ball again. I don't think y'all can stop Diggs. You know, I don't think anybody on the Ravens secondary can stop Diggs. And I think he's going to make plays.
If they can't run the ball and they can't make us commit into stopping the run, then we should be able to drop whoever, man up and double up over top everything that we need to do. Like literally, if they can't run the ball, if they can't run the ball, then that's already checked. Now I can pin my ears back. JPP will make a difference. I hope. Is he healthy? I know him as a household name, and you know I haven't been watching football like that for real. So I know him as a household name. Wasn't he was with the Giants, right?
Absolutely.
Is he washed up?
No, he still got some. He still got some gas in the tank. So
we at the end of his journey.
Yeah, he's
or
going
is he still in his prime.
No, he's going towards the end of his journey, and that's what y'all been doing lately is getting a lot of guys that on the end of their career on the offensive line. On the defensive line, rather. I think for real, I don't know how much of a difference he'll make, but the only problem with y'all pinning y'all ears back is really Josh Allen is the Buffalo Bills running game. So if y'all pin y'all ears back, y'all over pursue, then he's going to take off. And see, that's where I think the same way on the other side. Y'all both have dual threat quarterbacks, and it's going to be whoever makes the first mistake. I truly believe. Because I think both defenses are hurt and struggling. You know, Buffalo doesn't have their two safeties. Both of their safeties out, and they got their top corner out. So I think both defenses are struggling on the back end. So, but I think Buffalo attacks the back end more than the Ravens attack the back end. And I think Lamar is going to have a good game. But against Buffalo, he hasn't really won too many games, right? You know, and because of that, you know, I think Buffalo will come to the Ravens, so y'all get some kind of home field advantage. It's not going to be as cold as it should be if it was really cold. But then that only gives you advantage if Buffalo plays in the cold. But I think, like you say, those halftime adjustments, those third quarter coming out of halftime and making that push is going to be the telling sign of everything. Because I think you guys have a stalemate in the first half, and whoever makes those big adjustments and don't make those mistakes in the second half will win that game. So we lost Taz?
I think so. He should
All right,
be calling, but I just noticed that he dropped down when I looked up.
So I'm going to continue on, though. So I'll talk to you about it, right? I know you're not watching football like you is, but you know football enough to have a conversation with me.
Right.
So the next game is the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Philadelphia Eagles. So Jacksonville is going into Philadelphia. They upstart. Trevor Lawrence only has one interception this year. Defense is playing lights out. They're going into Philly. Philly's 3-0. Who would ever thought that going into week 4 that the only undefeated teams would be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dolphins and the Miami Dolphins. Nobody had that depicted. Nobody had them playing, Tua playing good or Jalen Hurts playing good.
Hold up, the Dolphins lost last night.
I was talking about before the last night, KB.
Oh,
3-0. So after week 3, nobody would have had Philadelphia as 3-0 and the Miami Dolphins at 3-0. Even though Miami lost last night because of their coaching staff and being irresponsible, putting Tua out there when he was concussed 4 days before. So that's their fault for putting him out on the field. Teddy Bridgewater came in and played pretty good, but he didn't have enough and he turned the ball over and Cincinnati was successful. I was really worried about Joe Burrow in the offensive line because he had got sacked at least 12 or 13 times, 15 times in the first 3 weeks. So I was hoping that he would actually be able to stand in the pocket and make plays because he has weapons on the outside. He was successful in that. And that's all because of the irresponsibility, Miami being irresponsible, putting Tua in harm's way. And look what happened. I'm praying for him. Hope he's okay. But that just was bad by Miami Dolphins. Getting into this game, the Jaguars is upstart, but I think that going into Philly, and Philly's defense have stepped up the last 2 weeks. I think because of that and the way Jalen Hurts is playing with the weapons, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, running game, and Jalen Hurts being the dual threat, I think he's on fire, and I think he's going to propel them to the win. And I think Trevor Lawrence is not going to see this kind of pressure in the other teams that he's faced. So it's going to be a different experience for him.
Uh-huh.
So what you say, Jack?
Say that again?
What's your take on that, KB?
Well, shoot, I couldn't tell you about another team. Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you about another team. I ain't even. Hopefully, I get to see the Ravens game.
Oh, okay.
that's how life is on football over here with me. Yeah, I mean,
I got you.
With this fashion and trying to get everything up. I'm here on Sundays when they on the gridiron. Yeah, I mean. But talk about the fantasy. The number one, who you think should get off the wire? Sure. Yeah, I mean, right now who they should be picking up.
So it's hard though because waiver wire is a difference for 10-team and 12-team leagues. But some of the high flyers and some of the people that have been hitting the ground running is basically you have Chris Olave from the New Orleans Saints, who's been really stepping up. And with Michael Thomas being injured, I think he's a great guy to get off the waiver while he's available, or put out a trade request for him because I think he's going to be pivotal in them being successful with that passing game. As far as running backs, if you saw that Dalvin Cook hurt his shoulder, he's saying he's going to play. But if you have an opportunity to get Alexander Madison, make sure you reach out and get him. Because we know this about Dalvin Cook. He never plays a whole season. He always gets injured. So that's inevitable. So I think that having him as a handcuff is important and vital to your fantasy team if you have the option to do that.
Right.
Wide receiver wise, you have Amon St. Brown out this week. You have Keenan Allen out. So if you need a tight end, I would say go get Gerald Everett because with Keenan Allen out, Gerald Everett has been successful with getting a lot of targets. You have Justin Herbert, who has injuries to his ribs, so he's trying to get the ball out early. And who is one of the quarterback's best friend when he's trying to get the ball out early is the tight end. So Gerald Everett would get a lot of targets. Mike Williams is one of those guys that show up sometimes and don't show up other times. So in order for Justin Herbert to be successful and them to win that game against the Houston Texans, I would say if you're in need of a tight end, go get Gerald Everett. And also David Njoku from the Cleveland Browns. It looks like Jacoby Brissett has a great connection with him.
Cool.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
A great connection with him. And he had like 9 catches for 84 yards last week. So if you're able to get him, because his only other option is Amari Cooper, I would say definitely go get him from a tight end perspective. Running back is really, really thin this year. It's kind of hard to depict it because the top running backs are not even being successful. If you look at the top 5 running backs, Jonathan Taylor hasn't been that successful. You got Christian McCaffrey, hasn't been that successful. One of the top backs is Chubb for Cleveland. So if you have an opportunity to somehow, if you have a manager who's willing to give up Chubb, I would say definitely target Chubb because Chubb has been sensational. And as far as receivers, Amon St. Brown has been that guy. If you look at the top receivers, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams with Derek Carr has been up and down. Justin Jefferson has had one good game with Kirk Cousins. So a lot of these receivers have been no-shows. So
what Duvernay doing?
Duvernay has 3 touchdowns, but his target share is really low. So those are those situations where you're looking for target share. If you're getting 8 to 10 targets, you know that you're going to always get opportunities. Duvernay has 3 touchdowns on probably like 5 or 6 targets in those 3 games. So that's not something that you can rely on because it's not consistent. But Duvernay has 3 touchdowns so far this year.
Okay, so who the top receiver wise, numbers wise, out there in the game? Who the top 3? Give me the top 3.
So the top 3 is, of course, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, and Amon St. Brown.
So
and
Cooper
nobody.
Kupp play for? Who Cooper play for?
Cooper Kupp plays for the Los Angeles Rams, and he actually won the triple crown last year with the most receptions, most yards, and most touchdowns.
Okay, and then who was number 2?
I would say Stephon Diggs.
And he got traded, right?
No, he was Buffalo Bills. He was Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen.
So we see him.
You'll see him tomorrow. That combination is deadly. And then the second and the third one, which is one that nobody expected, is Jared Goff and Amon St. Brown. Amon St. Brown was going in like the 8th round of fantasy drafts, and now he's like a first-round talent because he's been out there balling. Unfortunately, fantasy people, he won't be playing this week. So you're gonna have to get a different option. Options on that team is DJ Chalk, is somebody that you can actually get. And another guy that's been actually balling is Christian Kirk, who plays for Jacksonville Jaguars. He was going in the 10th round, and he's actually been very successful. I know Kyler Murray is missing him over in Arizona because their passing game has been abysmal, and I know he's waiting for DeAndre Hopkins to get back after his 6-week suspension, but they've been struggling. And if you go around the league, all these top guys, because they didn't play preseason, are struggling and trying to figure it out. Because really, when you think about it, we're at week 4, and really this is the first week because those first games really would be their preseason games they didn't play in during the preseason. And then you also have A.J. Brown, who's been balling as well, being traded from Tennessee over to Philly. Him and Jalen Hurts got a great rapport, and he's balling. And that Philly offense has been amazing. And, I know Rashad Bateman, his target share is not great because Lamar's throwing more to Andrews, but I think he has over like 175, 200 yards receiving. And that's all just off of big plays, not target share. But if you're trying to set your lineups this week, top quarterbacks, of course, are Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. Tom Brady's been struggling. I know there's a lot of Tom Brady fans, but he's been struggling because he haven't had his weapons. Mike Evans was out last week. Godwin is hurt, so he's going towards 3rd and 4th receivers. Hopefully he's getting Mike Evans back this week. But Tampa Bay is averaging like 16 points a game. That's not
the biggest.
No, go ahead.
Who the biggest bust in fantasy?
That's not a recipe for fantasy success with your team averaging 16 points and you have those weapons like Mike Evans, you have Leonard Fournette. They're not producing. The biggest fantasy bust so far from a running back position, I would say, is Alvin Kamara. Because he's a guy that is always successful, but if you look at his numbers, he's averaging like 6 points a game. So he's not producing like a top guy. But one of the surprises is Saquon Barkley, who's been hurt the last couple of years, but he's definitely producing. Then Joe Mixon also, who hasn't really produced, and he's a top guy. From a quarterback position, I would definitely say Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, who's not putting up the numbers that they put up. Huh? Oh, you talking about Mr. Relax? Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers is not being successful because
they ain't putting up numbers.
No, they're not putting up numbers at all, and that's because he lost Davante Adams over to, Las Vegas. So he's over. So Davante's over there with Derek Carr, but they 0-3. So the first week with Derek Carr, Davante Adams is like the same Davante Adams in Green Bay, but then weeks 2 and 3, he got like 6 catches in those 2 weeks. So Derek Carr's confused. He don't know whether to throw him the ball, feed him the ball, or to try to throw it to Renfro, try to throw it to Waller. He has several weapons, and he don't know what to do. That's why they 0-3. But I blame that on Josh McDaniels.
He still got Cooper, right?
Who?
Derek Carr. Oh.
So Derek Carr has Devontae Adams, he got Renfro, and he got Darren Waller at the tight end position. So Cooper Kupp is in. Cooper Kupp is with.
He got Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp is in with the Rams, with Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp is with the Rams, and Matthew Stafford is struggling, but Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp, so he's gonna succeed no matter what. He's one of the top guys in the league right now.
Okay. Oh, so Matt, I'm about to say Matt Stafford's still balling, huh? But you said he's struggling.
He's struggling this year. You know, last year he was tied with Trevor Lawrence for the most interceptions, but still won the Super Bowl. So that's kind of confusing. Tied with Trevor Lawrence for the most interceptions in the year, but still won the Super Bowl. Interesting.
But I mean, they put up numbers.
Yeah, he definitely put up numbers. Yeah, he put up points. I think they play San Francisco this week though, so I don't think they're going to win that game. They struggled against San Francisco. And Jimmy Garoppolo, because Trey Lance got hurt last week, so Jimmy Garoppolo is back under center for San Francisco. So interesting how that works out. Who they wanted to get rid of, now he's there.
No,
go ahead.
So what's up with your boy Denver? What's up from Seattle? Russell Wilson.
Wow. So everybody thought that Russell would come to Denver and cook, but he hasn't cooked at all. They're averaging about 13 points a game, which is ridiculous considering the weapons they have on that team. But I think it's the coaching. You know, Daniel Hackett has been horrible, and I think they really kind of second guessing the fact of putting him in charge. They're not playing or putting Russell in a position to be successful, and he's having to kind of play to what Daniel Hackett is calling. But he really needs to let Russell Wilson be Russell Wilson. And he hasn't been that. They're 2-1, but they look terrible offensively. The defense is top notch, but offensively they're not putting up numbers.
Okay. So is he considered a bust right now so far?
Fantasy wise, absolutely. And in the real NFL. A definite bust. Because you can't have Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon on that team and not be averaging 20 plus. Don't make any sense. So we don't have no more fantasy questions because, you know, I went through most of the games and I really wanted to jump into the fantasy. If we got any more fantasy questions, ask away because I have the answers for you. And I can give you all the top guys at each position if you're looking for that for this week, depending on the matchups. But, you know, fantasy has been a struggle these first 3 weeks. I think everybody needs to be patient. Don't panic because, like I said previously, a lot of these guys didn't play preseason and they're trying to work themselves in form. So hold on to those guys that you picked early. Don't panic and trade those people away. Because I think by week 5 or 6, you'll get that kind of production that you're looking for. It's hard to say if you're 0-3 and you don't know what's going to happen next. You know, to be honest with you, I'm 0-3 in 2 leagues, but I'm not panicking. Don't get me wrong. I make trades because that's what I do. And I'm trying to improve my team. And sometimes when you draft a team, that's not the team that's going to take you to fantasy success. If you know how to trade and you're willing to trade, a lot of people aren't. I'm a willing dealer because that's what I do. And at the end of the day, I always feel as though your team is only good as you make them because you're really a general manager. So you got to manage your team the right way. But if you're 0-3, all you're trying to do is get that first victory. And sometimes when you get that first victory, those start to pinball into more victories. Stay patient unless you see a trade or somebody offer you something that you can't refuse. And that's what happened to me in one of my leagues. I got something that I couldn't believe I got it. So I took it. And on Thursday night, I was rewarded because I got 38 points from those 2 people that I traded for. So I'm already ahead of the game, and hopefully I can get that first W because my team is good, but injuries have been a killer. And if you have Eli Mitchell, you know, who went down the first week, if you have Keenan Allen, who went down the first week, or if you have Davis, who you have DeAndre Swift, or if you have these guys that's been injured, it's killing your team. And in fantasy, it's week to week. But if your top if you're one of your top backs or your top receiver go down, you have to reevaluate. That's when you got to hit the waiver wire. You got to make tough decisions on some of the players you have and make trades. Because I always say, if something happens, don't sit in misery. Pick yourself up and get out and make the adjustments and get out of the misery. Because if you sit in the misery, you're going to be miserable. But if you pick yourself up, you make decisions, you make changes or whatever, you see hope at the end. That's what you got to do. Don't sit in misery.
All right. So your sleeper, who your fantasy sleeper for this week?
Fantasy sleeper. I would say, hold on for a second. A fantasy sleeper. That's a good question, man. That's a good question. I would say Jamal Williams, though, because DeAndre Swift is out. He was successful last week. I think he's going to have a big game this week because he's going to take over the full role. And I think DJ Chark also, because with Amon St. Brown, somebody else got to step up to the plate in that number one wide receiver position with him being out. As far as other sleepers, though, I would say think about a big sleeper, something that nobody's thinking about. I'm trying to think. I would say Rashad Penny because he hasn't been really used the way he should be. But I think, going against Detroit with their home crowd being home and Geno not being successful through the air, I think Rashad Penny will have a big game this week. I'm hoping J.K. Dobbins step up to the plate.
Right.
I do have him on my team. So I'm hoping that the Ravens give him some burn because they only gave him about 7 or 8 carries last week. And he's supposed to be an intricate part of their team, but he's coming off ACL injury, so I'm hoping that he steps up.
And that's why we couldn't close that game out, so I can't remember because he wasn't even on the field. And and we needed that.
Exactly. But I think, you guys have had injuries, though, the last 2 years. Now your corners and your safety that you guys picked up in the offseason is hurt. So that's killing you guys. And, y'all drafted Duke Hamilton from Notre Dame. I don't think he's up to speed yet with the way Ravens play football. So y'all back end is struggling, and then y'all not running the ball. Lamar is running the ball, but y'all backs are not running the ball because y'all had injuries at that position. I think once y'all get that running game revved up, I think y'all going to be hard to beat. So we lost Taz, but KB.
Yeah.
This has got to be a staple. I love this, man. If we we can do this every week at this time, this will work for me. This gives me an opportunity to talk about my football, give my football predictions, give my fantasy advice, and also just talk about sports. So this is perfect. I like this spot, and let's do it.
That's what's up. We definitely want to do it. This gonna be a thing for Friday, and I'm gonna get more guests, more people to talk and stuff like that.
The more the merrier, man, because you see how I can lead the show, man. I had no problem with that. And
that's what's up.
Let's just do it, man. Get as many people in here as you want. I like for people to have their commentary. I like for people to come at me because I'm always going to have my fire to come back. So this is perfect. Thank you, KB, and let's do it, man. Signing off.
It is what it is. It is what it is. I will see you, man. Look, I appreciate you, and we already know what it is. Hold on, look like we got one more comment. Look like we got one more comment. Can you pick? Give me a second. Hold on, Jay. That is right there.
Can you pick 3? Saquon Barkley, Dalvin Cook, James Conner, and AJ Dillon.
Hold on.
Saquon, Dalvin Cook, and James Conner. That's easy. But be cautious about Dalvin Cook because he plays at 9:30, and make sure you check your lineup. If you're not sure, go with AJ Dillon. But I'm not sure about that running game. I think AJ Dillon is halftime with Aaron Jones. And if that's the case, Dalvin Cook is starting. So Saquon, Dalvin Cook, and James Conner. I'll be right back, KB.
So thank everybody that's tuned in
And I'm
for
back.
tuning in with us. Let me do something real quick while James step out. All
I'm here.
right, all right, you back.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're gonna yeah, that's definitely what's up, man. It's definitely what's up. We're gonna be up here. We're gonna be up here all the time, every Friday and Sunday. We're gonna come in. This way I like it because we it can give you more time instead of trying to rush everything on the Sunday. So that was my
Correct.
take and that was my feel for it. And then I know it'd be strong enough to carry and take his own, you know what I mean, hold his weight as his own show.
Well,
So
absolutely. You know,
appreciate you, my brother, and I will see you next week at the same time. Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
where can people find you if they got questions? How can they come up with you?
No problem. No problem. No problem. Pretty shortly, I'm going to have my sports talk show called Raw Sports Entertainment. We're looking into starting a new network called Raw Sports,
Okay.
and going forward, we'll be on Monday night at 8 p.m. We're going to try to switch from what we were on, and we're going to start using streaming a lot like UKB. So we're working out the kinks for StreamYard, and we're going to start being on StreamYard at Monday nights at 8 o'clock, talking sports and giving you raw sports from a grown man perspective. Also, I have my own podcast called Journey with Jay. More that's going to be coming very shortly. I'm getting my content ready and things of that nature. I have 2 videos ready to post right now, but I'm trying to get about 4 or 5 videos, and I'm going to have my own channel. And you guys will be able to see me on that network as well. Also, I'm in the process of writing my first novel. I'm working with my publicist, and that will be out hopefully this year. Look forward to look for that, because that's going to be very informative. It's going to give you a lot of information, and I'm really trying to target our black men, our black young men, and our black men, opening the eyes out to reality and helping us band together as one. Because as black men, we're at the bottom of the totem pole, and we got to stick together.
That's what's up. So people can find you here every Friday as well. We're gonna be here
Absolutely.
next week and all that good stuff. And yeah, bro. Hey, I appreciate you. I love you, man. Yeah, man. And it's about to grow. This about to be what's up. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna close it up. What'd you say?
I said this is going to be big, man. We're going to get guests on here. This is going to be amazing, and everything is going to be just real, and that's what it is. Would you trade Fournette and Andrews and PPR?
We got another question for you right there.
Would you trade Fournette for Andrews and PPR? I have Barkley, Henry, J-Rob, Dobbins, and Gibson. No, I wouldn't trade them because you have enough balance at running back. You don't need Fournette. Keep Andrews. He's a top guy. You don't want Everett. There's no need to get Fournette if you already have Barkley, Henry, and J-Rob and Dobbins. There's no need. Stay put. Keep Andrews. He's a top guy. You're always going to have the advantage each week at the tight end position. He's averaging about 15 points a game. And you have enough support with Barkley, Henry, and J-Rob. There's no need to make that trade. Definitely reject that. But like you said, KB, this is going to be awesome. You got people asking fantasy questions. This is going to be amazing. Let's keep this going.
Now hold up. I think he was saying, would he trade Fournette to pick up Andrews?
Oh, would you trade Fournette for Andrews? Absolutely. Sorry about that. Absolutely. Because Everett is going to fall off. If Keenan Allen comes back, Everett's going to fall off. Absolutely. I do that in a heartbeat. Definitely. Get that.
All right. Yeah. We was breaking up. You was breaking up for some reason. We was looking at. Let me see. We got another question down here.
Yes, do it. Jacob, do it. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he caught what I caught.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Did you see? He talking about Andrews from the Ravens, right?
Yeah. Mark Andrews. Absolutely do that.
Oh hell yeah.
Hit accept before he think about it. Hit accept before he reject. Hit accept before he take it down.
You better hit accept. He might be watching the show. Hopefully he watching the show. So you better hurry up and hit it. You better hurry up and hit it. So
you was a little later. You was a little later. Hold up. Fournette plays.
Yeah, because I seen the question. Tampa Bay. Okay. So that's he over there with Tom Brady not doing good.
Mm-hmm.
You would think they'd be working him, give him the ball, right?
They are giving him the ball, but because the weapons on the outside are not there, Tampa Bay is out of sorts. You know, they lost from their offensive tackle as well. So the lanes that he had last year is not open. So he's been struggling a little bit run the ball. So for Andrews, though, so I see what you're saying. You giving up Fournette for Andrews. Do that in a heartbeat. Hurry up and hit accept, Jacob, immediately, because that's going to strengthen your team.
Okay. And dang, I want to end the show and then I don't. It's like every time I'm about to end this, a question pop up.
Something else came up?
Yeah, but nah, I'm just saying. Every time I went to go end it, I was like, yeah, man, something popped up. But what I am going to do, though, I got my guys that y'all hear me playing. They out of Oklahoma City. Yeah, man. Their names is 25 and up. And I'm going to vibe out to them. I'm going to let that vibe out to see if we get any more questions, Jay. If not, then I'm gonna go ahead and end it when the song go off. Right? I like this music. Tell me what you think. Y'all can chime in. They're gonna. You can see them. You can hear them on SoundCloud, iTunes, all them good places. You can find them on YouTube. 25 and up. Yeah, man.
Cause you been stuck inside a house.
Thanks everybody for coming out. We gonna do this every Friday night. Hey.
Plus I've been in these streets all day. Matter of fact, girl, I'm on my way. Pulled up, goddamn girl, look at that body. You already got me bobbing. The top down when we riding. Cause we keep it popping.
Here we go, yeah.
We keep it popping. We keep it popping. We keep it popping. We keep it popping. There's something about you, yeah. Something about you. Everybody wants you and I know it. I really want you back, but I can't show it. Seeing in my eye, like how you glowing. I'm tryna whip the wheel, but I can't focus. Casamigo got me speeding while we rolling. Sun shining on our skin, feeling golden. This is something about you. All that laughing, girl, you know you it. Got your money and you own it, shit, yeah. There's something about you, yeah. There's something about you. Whether we rolling, smoking, drinking, flying, hoping, you know we keep it popping. We keep it popping. We keep it popping. We keep it popping. I'm trying to walk the wheel, but I can't focus. Cause I've been in these streets all day. Sunshine on my skin, feeling golden. There's something about you, yeah. There's something about you. Everybody wants you and I know it. There's something about you, yeah. There's something about you. Whether we rolling, smoking, drinking, flying, hoping, you know we keep it popping. We keep it popping. Whether we rolling, smoking, drinking, flying, hoping. Yeah, yeah. You haven't had a good time in a long time. Cause you've been stuck inside a house raising those kids. But it's Friday, and I just